This is a complete guide on Red Dead Redemption 2's hunting system. And I know what you're thinking, hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2, isn't that the same as Far Cry 5 hunting? Well, let me tell you something, Bobby. Red Dead Redemption 2's hunting system is next level. It's not just putting an arrow through a skunk's knee. No, there is so many details and factors that go into hunting, and we're gonna be discussing all of it so that you can become
the hunting champion.
So you're ready for your first hunt, you're excited, you're nervous. How do you do it? Well, you can either go alone or ask a gang member from the camp to come with you. And now you gotta have the best weapon for hunting. And it's gotta be something that's quiet and does the job. Well, a knife could do, but you gotta be at close proximity and it's not really sustainable. Now I would recommend, that's right, the bow and arrow. This will allow you to be at a long distance, hide in a bush, and go for the quiet kill. Another thing you gotta consider, depending on how you inflict the damage on the animal, for example, if you were to throw a Molotov at a pig, it would burst into flames, and it's something that will decrease the value of that pig when you do decide to sell it to a butcher. Now, if you do use a bow and arrow, it's not going to decrease the value of that pig. Now, how do you find an animal that you're looking for? Let's say you're looking for a polar bear. Well, it's quite simple. Those are going to be in the mountains. Now, let's say you're looking for a frog. Now, those are going to be in the swamps. And let's say you're looking for just a deer. And those are just going to be in the forest. So, if you are looking for a certain animal, they're going to be in their natural habitat. Now, once you go to that habitat, whichever one you're looking for, you just gotta ride around on your horse and just scout them out. In Red Dead Redemption 2, the draw distance in the game is incredible. You can see from a very, very far distance where things are, and you can see things moving. You gotta use your ears and really pinpoint where they could be. You gotta look around. You gotta look for quick movements, things like that, because these are all the things that are going to help you find the animal and eventually pursue your hunt. Animals in Red Dead Redemption 2 are not scarce at all whatsoever. There are over 200 different types of species of animals in the game. So you will be stumbling across animals pretty frequently, and that's not to say the different variations of those species. Now, there was a recent interview about hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2 with Phil Hooker. Yes, his last name's Hooker. Anyways, this is what he had to say to this question. What's the biggest challenge in balancing an ecosystem of 200 species? Well, he goes on to say, we try to populate the world in a way that feels most natural. Each species is hand-placed to make sure that every region feels distinct with a diverse population of animals native to those habitats, distributed in their respective social groupings and with varying levels of activity based on the time of day. Some animals move as herds between locations at various times, and some of those herds have an infinite number of animals so that you can kill them over time. You can remove that particular herd or simply reduce the numbers when you come back next time. It's an enormous world, and we carefully go through each area to figure out what works best in each location, what the appropriate threats are in that area, and to make sure nothing feels particularly out of place. Oh my god, there were so many tongue twisters on that paragraph. Leave a like for that. Now, as you go hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2, icons for each animal will show up on the map, signifying which regions of that area you have explored and what types of animals are going to be at that location. So, you have found the animal you're looking for. You're hidden in a bush. You got your bow and arrow, and you're about to do it. But you're scared. Well, don't be. Your goal is to defeat the animal with only one arrow. That's it. because if you use one arrow and it kind of runs away, it's going to be much harder for you to do another shot with the arrow because chances are you're going to miss. So how do you do it with just one arrow? One shot, one defeat. How do you do that? Well, you gotta go for the vital organs. So that would mean the heart, that would mean the head. It could be another area on that body, but how do you find it? How do you make things easier for yourself? Well, if you do get the level 4 Deadeye, which will not only slow down the time but also mark the locations of the vital areas of that body, of that animal's body, so you can point the arrow to that location and go for the one shot. Now in the real world, nothing goes as planned. Things happen, and in Red Dead Redemption 2, anything can happen. You're not always going to get the perfect kill. You're not always going to even get the kill. But there are some tips that I'm gonna give you right now that are going to help you immensely. As you are loading up your bow, you can whistle, and that will confuse the enemy and stun them, and will be much easier for you to go for the headshot. You can also go to the general store and buy something that will mask your scent. Remember, in hunting, animals can hear, they can scent, and of course they can see. So you gotta take everything into account. And if you can mask your scent, that would mean that you can get closer to the enemy and it will be much easier for you to get the shot. Did you know that Arthur has superpowers? Ha! Well, all you have to do to activate them is press both of the sticks on the controller and you will enter Eagle Eye. What is Eagle Eye? It's basically a ghostly trail that leads up to your prey. But this also could backfire on you, because if that animal finds his wolfy friends, that would mean that you're in some deep trouble. So you really gotta be careful and act smart, because you never know what can happen in the wilderness. So you've defeated the animal, what now? A lot of people are gonna think, well, you unlock some unlockable, or you can sell it to the butcher. Well, if you are gonna sell it to the butcher, how do you get it there? One way is to mount it on top of your horse and take it to the butcher that way. The second option, and get this guys, this is the coolest thing ever in video game history. You will be able to skin the animal. And yes, I know you were able to do that in Red Dead Redemption 1, but this time around, you actually get to see exactly what you're skinning and what happens. You get to see all of it. Oh yes. So if you are scared of ripping up of the skin, you might want to do it, press the button, and then cover your eyes. Literally, that's what you're gonna have to do. Now once you do the skinning, all the remains that you really need are going to be in your backpack. So once you have it in your backpack, you just take it to the butcher and sell it that way. Or you can use the remains to craft things such as clothing, or you can use the meat to cook it and then eat it. But guess what? If you eat too much, you're gonna get fat. And the third option after you defeat the animal is actually to just leave it there on the ground. And now you can use this dead animal on the ground as bait for other animals, and you get my gist. And this was said in the article, and Hooker actually says, while we are working on a placement, we are also looking for ways to certain species can interact with each other in the world. Some animals can coexist and react together, but some of the animals are obviously aggressive to one another. On top of that, there's an ecosystem surrounding scavenging and how that applies to dead animals. For example, bait isn't the only way to attract another animal. If you kill a rabbit, the rabbit corpse will attract other animals so you can essentially use an animal you've killed as bait. Another aspect of hunting is the hunting journal. What is the hunting journal? Once you acquire the hunting journal, you will be able to track all of the 200 animals in the game. It's kind of like a Pokemon game, isn't it? And remember at the start of the video I said you will be the hunting champion? Well, guess what? You're the Pokemon champion. And get this guys, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a freaking masterpiece. This game is just next level. Think of it like this. Each and every single one of these 200 animals have their own sleeping schedule. They have their own single movements. They have their unique individual sounds that they make. It's just crazy. I do not have the words to describe how awesome this game is going to be, how much effort they put into just animals and hunting alone. And it's something that you don't have to do. It's just a side thing. It's crazy. It's just too much for me. I can't handle the hype is real. Red Dead Redemption 2 is almost here. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I hope this video helped you guys into becoming a pro at Red Dead Redemption 2's hunting system. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.